morning. I am Jennifer Jarvis, Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. And on behalf of the Queens College faculty and administration, it is my pleasure to extend you the warmest welcome and congratulations to the class of 2023. Let's hear it for 2023. Let's give a special welcome to all of the family members with us today who have supported your wonderful success. Again, family, we thank you. Before we continue, I would like to ask everyone to please silence their phones and mobile devices. Thank you. We will now bring to an official end an enormously important academic year at Queens College. The class of 2023 is walking through the welcome gates of Casino Boulevard one last time as students. Please note that the order of the procession is as follows. Coming down the aisles, we'll have the alumni class from 1953, 1963, and 1973. Isn't it wonderful to have so many of our alumni join us today to congratulate the class of 2023 and to celebrate their own momentous achievements? Down the center aisle will be members of the platform party led by the Chief Marshal, Alan Lutman, with the help of the interim provost and senior vice president for academic affairs, Patricia Price. Assistant Chief Marshal Sandra Mew will lead the distinguished faculty. Assistant Chief Marshal Simone Yearwood coordinates our graduates from each of our academic schools who now proceed down the aisles. As our alumni, faculty, and graduates march down the aisles, please welcome them with the warmest applause. So, let this processional begin. Let's give it up to the Queens College Music Program. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our Chief Marshal, Alan Lubman, who will officially open and close the commencement exercises. Professor Emeritus Ludman of the Geology Department holds an undergraduate degree from Brooklyn College, a master's degree from the University of Indiana, and a PhD from the University of Pennsylvania. Ludman first came to Queens College in 1975 and progressed to full professor in the School of Earth Environmental Sciences. During his tenure at Queens, Lubman served as a department chairperson, an undergraduate advisor, an associate and interim provost, an academic senator, and was a member of the Academic Senate Executive Committee. He was the recipient of the Queens College Service Award and the Presidential Award for Teaching Excellence. Ludman is the author of 2 introductory geology textbooks and 2 introductory laboratory manuals. In his research, Ludman is primarily a field-oriented geologist. He is responsible for drawing maps that show the distribution of different rock types in Maine. Working with the Maine Geological Survey, he has mapped an area roughly the size of the state of Connecticut and has reported his findings to the Geoscience Committee through numerous journal articles, individual geological maps, and presentations at professional conferences. Ludman retired in August 2022 after 47 years of service to the college. Today, Chief Marshal Ludman wears the Queens College chain that lists the names of chief marshals from previous commencement. Please give another warm welcome to Professor Alan Lubman, Chief Marshal.
Thank you, Jennifer, and a warm good morning, and I do mean warm, to everyone in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, the 99th commencement exercises of Queens College of the City University of New York are now officially open. Please let us thank the students from the Aaron Copland School of Music for sharing their great talents with us this morning. President Wu, I am pleased to report that members of the graduating class, the faculty, and staff of Queens College, and representatives from the City University, trustees, and administration are now here. All are gathered here for the 99th commencement of Queens College. Now I ask that everyone please stand, turn around, and face the flagpole behind you. We invite you to join in the singing of our national anthem, which will be performed by Maya Hussein, class of 2023, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Music degree. Gentlemen, please remove your caps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets had
Thank you, Maya. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the 11th President of Queens College, Frank H. Wu.
Thank you so much, Chief Marshal Ludman. We are most honored that you are serving as the Chief Marshal on this grand occasion. We appreciate so much your many contributions to our college over a half-decade of service. Good morning, friends. I'm thrilled to be here with you today on our beautiful campus. What a privilege to serve as president of this great college and an honor to preside over this joyous occasion. All of us here today, about 8,000 strong. That includes our graduates, our faculty, our staff, family members, loved ones, elected officials, and alumni from the classes of 1953, 1963, and 1973 have gathered on this quad in person on the highest spot in the world's borough to celebrate you, the graduating class of 2023. Today marks the end of one chapter of your life and the beginning of another. You now join the ranks of the esteemed Queens College alumni who have come before you, a group of 173,000 individuals. As you head into the next chapter of your life, which with deserved optimism, you should be confident. Queens College has prepared you to take on the world and all of the challenges in it, to make good on your aspirations. Your studies have prepared you to go into the career of your choice. You have now a world-class liberal arts education that will serve you well in every aspect of your life as a citizen of the world. No matter what path you choose, I encourage you to keep learning and growing. Life is a never-ending process of adaptation. I hope that you use your time here as a foundation to continue to build upon. As you leave Queens College, as you walk out these gates for a last time, I urge you to think critically and challenge all that is familiar to you, as you have done in your classes, in the art studios, in the science labs. Ask questions, think outside the box, explore those new and exciting ideas. The world is constantly changing, and it is up to you as leaders to seize the opportunity to shape it for the better, more just, more diverse, more equitable, and inclusive. Always remember the motto of your alma mater: we learn so that we may serve. I now want to take a moment to acknowledge the very special people here in the audience. Will all the students who are the first in their families to obtain a college degree please stand up? Stay standing, and will those who are following the footsteps of another family member, a parent or a sibling who also attended Queens College or any of our sister institutions in the City University of New York, please stand up. All the graduates who so valiantly served our nation in the armed forces, please stand up to be acknowledged. The veterans' names are especially called out on pages 46 and 47. Thank you for your service. Let's give them a big round of applause, all who served our nation. Please, students, feel free to be seated again. Some of the special achievements of this class of 2023 that I want to mention and highlight to lift up for celebration include the Paul Clapper Scholarship recipients, Andrea Marcia Garcia and Tenzin Namgyal. Our Queens College Retirees Association Professor Elizabeth Lowe Scholarship winner, Aaron Sung-Yu Fu. The winner of the Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner Award, Elizabeth Giorgio. and the Joe and Carol Brostek Scholarship winner, Nima Patel. I also want to acknowledge an important student leader, Sharmila Bastio, who's graduating today and was awarded the Senior Legacy Scholarship. The 2023 Senior Class Gift Campaign provided her the opportunity to pay off all of her remaining college expenses so she can focus on her dreams and opportunities after Queens College. Please, another round of applause for all of our wonderful graduates. And to all of the parents, to the guardians, the siblings, the aunts, the uncles, the husbands, wives, partners, significant others, and friends who are gathered here today. Let me say congratulations to you. A big round of applause from the students for those who helped see you through, your kith and kin, your support network. You've done such a superb job helping our graduates achieve their goals. And finally, let us thank the world-class Queens College faculty, 600 strong, and the staff, more than 2,000, who have helped our graduates make it to this day. In particular, the Office of Campus Events and Commencement, our Communications and Marketing Office, Academic Affairs, Student Affairs, the Office of Alumni Affairs, Information Technology, the public safety officers still busy at work, and our buildings and grounds professionals who made the quad look just fantastic on this special day. And thank you to all of the academic departments and programs represented on stage. I would like at this point to introduce members of the Platform Party. If they would rise as their group is called, members of the Platform Party who will be addressing you will be specially introduced later in the program. First, our vice presidents, assistant vice presidents, and all those whom I have the honor of serving with, members of the cabinet. Please, if you would stand, a big round of applause for them. You may be seated. And now, all of the deans, the associate and assistant provosts, the academic leadership of this institution, if you would stand. And a big round of applause for them. Thank you. Please be seated. Next, the dedicated academic chairs who preside over the curriculum in all of the classes and the research and creativity, if you would stand, the academic chairs, and our distinguished professors, please. Please be seated. And now, the outgoing Student Association President, the leader of all of our graduates, Shristi Bhatia. If you would please stand, a big round of applause for her. And because they did so much, one more round of applause for the musicians from the Aaron Copeland School of Music. Thank you, each and every one of you, for playing so melodically. You have given so much to all of us, and a special shout out to the members of the ensemble who are graduating, Natalie Oliveri and Georgekov Zentia. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce the Vice Chairwoman of the City University of New York Board of Trustees. That's the governing body that oversees this entire system that we are proud to be part of, the largest in the nation, the largest urban public university system. Sandra Wilkin is a graduate of Kingsborough Community College, Hunter College, and NYU. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Bradford Construction, a firm that she founded in 1989 that optimizes services and operations on complex, large-scale building projects. Over the past 3 decades, she has grown the company into one of New York's premier women-owned business enterprises in any industry. It's my great pleasure to welcome CUNY Vice Chair Sandra Wilkin.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey. Esteemed President Wu, Lieutenant Governor Delgado, former Vice Chair of the City University of New York, Phil Berry, and President Richards, and alumnus John Favreau, family of Judith Heumann, elected officials, faculty, families, alumni, honored guests, and most importantly, you, the great graduating class of 2023. I am delighted to bring you greetings on behalf of the CUNY Board of Trustees. And today, you finally put all of those pathways behind you. Today, you finally put Q25, 34, Q17, Q44, and we cannot forget IRT number 7, and of course, the shuttle bus rides behind you. Like some of you, I was a transfer student from a community college, and I attained a second degree at the CUNY Senior College. My father passed away when I was a teenager, and my mother, who was a stay-at-home mom, never graduated from high school, and suddenly became an unemployed widow. She insisted I go to college, and of course, stop smoking. And of course, one listens to their mother, and had to on both counts. I studied to become a nurse, but when taking the train to school, I kept seeing all the construction and skyscrapers being built out there. And with that, I was drawn, and so combined my interest in building and learning about renovating hospitals. It was risky, but as your honorary degree recipient, creative genius John Favreau has said, risk can pay off, because if you're not afraid of failure, then nothing can be done to you. Getting a job in construction as a woman back then was virtually unheard of. You constantly hit that concrete ceiling in a very male-dominated profession. But I remember, though, the famous quote from a CUNY alum, Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm: if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. So I started my own business in the construction industry and brought many, many folding chairs. Now, many years later, I have the honor of chairing the Committee for Minority and Women-Owned Businesses and SDV-owned businesses for the CUNY Board of Trustees. Thank you. So whether you continue to pursue your education or work towards your business goals or find your creative freedom niche or achieve the high elected office as our keynote speaker, the Lieutenant Governor Delgado, and former congressman, has successfully done, know that you have benefited from the family and the support of your faculty and staff of a truly great college. Always remember there are two kinds of people. Those who cannot remember where they came from, and those who cannot forget. Always remember Queens College. Please, congratulations. Thank you.
One more special thanks to Flushing Hospital and Medical Center. We do have an ambulance on standby near the front gate. If anyone is suffering any issues with the heat, please feel free to avail yourself of the medical treatment being provided most generously by Flushing Hospital. Thank you again, Vice Chair Wilkin. Our next speaker is a good friend of Queens College, our Borough President here, Donovan Richards. Borough President Richards has been a long-standing and outspoken supporter of public higher education, and his sister is an alum of this institution. As the Queensborough president and during his time on the city council, he never missed an opportunity or hesitated to support Queens College and our capital improvement projects, such as the kitchen used by the food and nutrition and exercise science programs. We're fortunate to have him with us today. He even beat me in a race at the opening of our new track last year, although I'm available for a rematch. Please join me in welcoming Queensborough President Donovan Richards.
Well, good morning. Greeting graduates. How y'all feeling today? And I am Donovan Richards, your Queensborough President, and I want to first acknowledge your great president, Frank Wu, who I beat in the race, but he seems, every time I see him, my wallet gets a little lighter for this college campus, so he's certainly winning still. I want to recognize the graduating class of 2023 and your families who encouraged and supported you through this long journey. You are now a Queens College alumni. Give yourselves a round of applause. And you can proudly say that you're a college graduate that indeed, from a college that provided quality education indeed, being that Queens College is such an outstanding institution. And I know how you feel. I saw some of your first-time graduates from your family stand, and I was the first graduate of college in my family in high school, so I know how y'all feel out there today. I was born to teenage parents. Like some of you in this audience, I know you encountered many difficulties to get here today, but I want to congratulate you. You know, there's a wise saying from a philosopher by the name of Drake. Started from the bottom, now you're here. And I know our Lieutenant Governor knows a little something about hip hop as well, so I know y'all hear more bars from him. But Queens has a distinction of being the most culturally diverse county in New York City and in the entire United States. About 49%, almost half of the borough's population here is foreign-born. Over 120 nationalities are represented, and over 150 languages and dialects are spoken in our county. As I look around today at our extraordinary graduates, I see the richness of the culture of our borough. There are graduates from different ethnic backgrounds, countries, and religions, sexual orientations, all with one goal in mind. That goal was to get a college education, to have a better future for yourself and your families. Your families who have sacrificed and saved so they can come to this country and their children can get an education right here in Queens. You are prepared to walk into a diverse marketplace and to make an immediate impact after a global pandemic temporarily disrupted our way of life. But you made it through. Queens College has been here for you, and I am proud to have helped Queens College in its efforts to provide quality education to you. I've allocated several millions of dollars, not only to this institution, but to CUNY campuses across Queens. My goal is to ensure that students get the highest quality education that they deserve right here in our beloved borough of Queens. If there's a message I can give to all of the graduating students, is that now that you are graduating, I hope you stay in Queens and contribute to our economy's comeback. Also, when you become very successful, don't forget those who have helped you get this far. Those who encouraged you and said, "You can do this." Please also remember to encourage someone else still on the journey and dreams to be in the seat you are in today. Last, don't forget to give back to your community. We need you. Today is a celebration of that goal and promise you made to yourself a few years back. And now it has been reached, and you should be proud of yourself. But on this very day, make a new goal and promise to yourself, and starting tomorrow, go out and make it happen. I wish every graduate here and your loved ones my sincerest congratulations on a job well done. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Borough President Richards. And now we welcome back to Queens College the Honorable James Gennaro, New York City Council member representing the 24th District, which includes our campus. He was once a professor of political science and environmental policy right here, and he has continued to support public education and the City University of New York system throughout his career in public life. He's always helped to fund so generously this institution where he once taught. Please join me in welcoming New York City Council member James Gennaro.
Am I supposed to stand on this? What happens? How does this work? No, I don't need it. Thank you, President Wu. Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor, for being here, for honoring us with your presence. My name is Jim Gennaro, and I have the privilege of representing Queens College in the City Council. And it's great to be able to allocate funding to this great institution. I can't think of a better place to invest public dollars. And I'm also, as the President said, part of the Queens College family. I taught here from 1996 to 2003, so it always feels like home when I am here, which is very often, thanks to President Wu, who very graciously opens the doors of this campus for all kinds of community events. President Wu wants everyone to feel at home at Queens College, and he has certainly accomplished that. Let's give him a round of applause for all that he has done. Congratulations on your commencement, which is to say your beginning, the start of the next phase of your life's journey. Walt Whitman, the great New York poet, who was born 204 years ago yesterday in Huntington, Long Island, wrote an unforgettable poem about his start, the start of his life's journey. The poem is called Starting from Pominock, from his Leaves of Grass collection. Pominock is a Native American name for Long Island, where Walt Whitman was born and where we now stand, geographically speaking. The housing complex across the street bears the name Pominock and reminds us that Queens is indeed part of Pominock, which means land of tribute. And how fitting for this day. In his poem, Whitman tells the story of his own life and magically turns the focus from himself and his time and his journey to that of the reader, and by extension, to the common humanity of all fellow travelers on life's road. He says in his poem, "I will not make poems with reference to separate parts, but I will make poems and songs with reference to ensemble." In this poem, Whitman embraced what connects us and warns of what will divide us. And as I look upon you graduates, as impressive and inspiring an ensemble as I have ever seen, my wish for you all today, as you literally start out from Pominock, the land of tribute, is to remember this day, this ensemble, the common humanity you share with one another, and I urge you to go out from this campus today and never embrace division, but rather make your poems, your songs, and your life always and forever in the spirit of ensemble. Congratulations to you all, and may God bless you.
I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge one of our esteemed guests who is in attendance, Philip Berry, class of 1973, 50 years ago, a former vice chair of the City University of New York Board of Trustees and former chair of the CUNY Construction Fund. Thank you, Philip, for joining us and your classmates today and for your long-standing support of your alma mater. And now we will hear from student speaker Andrea Garcia, class of 2023. She's graduating summa cum laude with a major in political science and a minor in legal studies. She has interned in the offices of New York State Senator John Liu, who represents Queens College, U.S. Senator Charles Schumer, and U.S. Representative Grace Meng, who represents Queens College in the House. She also interned with the Central American Refugee Center, helping provide free legal services for newcomers. After graduation, Andrea plans to work as a paralegal and apply to law school in the fall with the goal of becoming an immigration attorney. Let's welcome Andrea Garcia.
Thank you, President Wu, for your kind introduction. And good morning, friends, family, faculty, alumni, and graduates. It is with great honor to stand before all of you today and address the class of 2023. For the past 4 years, Queens College has been our home away from home, a place where friends became family, where professors served as mentors, and where student life brought us together. It has also been a place that prepared us for what lies ahead. Just think about the mornings we rushed to get to class on time, went to the library to write papers or work on group assignments, and stayed up late to cram study the night before exam day. As students, we can all relate to these memorable yet stressful moments of college. But none of these shared experiences makes us a Queens College student. So what does, you may ask? Our life story. Each and every single one of you has a story, and telling it with all of its joys, successes, and victories, as well as its challenges, failures, and mistakes, says something about what it means to be a Queens College student. My story began in my parents' home country of Lima, Peru, a country that is named the world's leading culinary destination and known for one of the 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu. My parents graduated with their bachelor's degree in accounting, but strived for something greater. They made the tough decision to move to the United States in search of the American dream. Just like many other immigrants, they faced a language barrier, lack of employment, and cultural differences. In spite of these difficulties, they never gave up. My parents' resilience showed me the importance of an education and the doors they opened for new opportunities. However, for someone like me, it wasn't so easy. Statistics show that Hispanic graduates hold 12.2% of the bachelor's degree in the U.S. The reality is, the odds are stacked against me. Yet I refuse to let that define who I will become and what I will achieve. Growing up, I felt empowered to change the status quo, and I took it upon myself to work hard and give it my all. Every educational step that I have taken was with the motivation to become someone who could help others achieve their American dream. As an offspring of immigrants, it is my reason to serve those that are most vulnerable. And today, that goal is one step closer. I am just one of the many stories that represent what it means to be a Queens College student. But we are so much more. Together, we are proud, traditional, and non-traditional students. First-generation students, undocumented students, international students, students with disabilities, and veteran students, to name a few. Our diverse cohort has given us the honor to listen to stories from all walks of life. So I turn to you and ask, what is your story? And how will you continue to write it moving forward? Today, the diploma we receive serves as a bridge between the past and the future, marking the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. For some, you have received the extra credential you need to land your dream job. For others, you are headed off to graduate school, where you'll obtain your master's or doctorate's degree. But for all of you, wherever you choose to go next, always look back on the words of our founder, Paul Kapler. We learn so that we may serve. The Queens College motto that has inspired you to learn with a purpose, so that one day we will serve others for a common good. It is this newly found purpose that will guide our life decisions, offer a sense of direction, and create meaning. Remember this pivotal moment in your life and think about all the good you have done in the service of others and all that you will continue to do moving forward. Lastly, I would like to thank God, who is the reason why I am here today. I would like to thank my parents, my family members, and my boyfriend, who are present in the audience over there. Who have given me a home full of love, support, and encouragement. To the class of 2003, congratulations, we did it. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. It is now my distinct pleasure to welcome someone known to all of us, John Favreau, Queens College alumnus, and confer upon him an honorary doctorate of fine arts. Although his extraordinary creative work is known throughout the world, we are incredibly pleased that he has returned to be with us today. Mr. Favreau, it is an honor to have you and your family and friends. Today, you are joined by your wife, Joy, your children, Madeline and Max, your father, Chuck, himself a Queens College graduate, and friend, Agatha. Mr. Favreau, please come to the middle of the stage. Provost Patricia Price will read excerpts from the citation for John Favreau, the complete text of which is in your printed program.
Morning, everybody. Congratulations. A New Yorker who became a Hollywood icon, you have created a body of work that has given pleasure to millions of people around the world. As an actor, writer, director, and producer, your filmography resonates with audiences who love your imagination, heart, and wit. A native of Flushing, you won a highly coveted seat in the Bronx High School of Science, then came to Queens College. You then took a chance on a move to Chicago where you immersed yourself in the Hard School of Improvisational Theater. With breakthrough acting roles on Seinfeld and Friends, you became a familiar face on screen, and since 1992, you have worked steadily as an actor. Even now, as a top industry executive, you continue to perform in lead and supporting roles. Your work has received many awards and nominations. This year, your star was added to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Your success is based, as yours will be, on following your own vision, for which you are an inspiration to our students and many others. You inject meaningful values, groundbreaking innovations, and are always quick-witted with your thoughtful storytelling into our shared culture in recognition of your artistic achievements and contributions. We are proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa.
Mr. Favreau's biography is still scrolling here. Mandalorian, Boba Fett, elf, chef, across a range of genres. All right. Iron Man, of course. All right. Okay. By the authority vested in the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, by the State of New York, and by them entrusted to me as President of Queens College, I hereby confer upon John Favreau the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa, with all of the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors pertaining thereto. We need to do the photos.
My turn? All right. Hello, everybody. Oh, I remember the planes. Oh, there it is, the sweet sound of LaGuardia. Well, I guess I can officially end my 35-year leave of absence from Queens College today. So thank you all. Let's see, what do I got here? I need one of you young people to show me how to use this thing, an iPad. I'm not the first graduate. My father was a grad student here. He was an educator, New York City public school teacher for 36 years. And he received his Master's of Special Education here at Queens College. I misunderstood. I thought I was getting a bachelor's degree today that I never got. It's a doctorate, Dad. I'm sorry. It's going to be a long car ride home. So I just jumped past him a bit. So I'll keep it quick because it's hot out and it's getting hotter. I didn't have any idea what I was going to do when I was here or your age. Just let me put that out there. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. It's part of the gig for me to give you some actionable advice to help you with your lives, but everything's changing so fast, I wouldn't know where to start or what to tell you. But I'm convinced that this group of people are in a great position to take advantage of the opportunities that the present provides. You're graduating today, and you found a way to persist through some of the most challenging years that we've had to be a young person. Somehow you got here, you got a degree. That deserves a tremendous congratulations. I know how hard these years have been, and you did what it took to get here, and we're all very proud of you. And regardless of whatever major you have, one thing that I know about colleges is you primarily learn how to learn. And learning how to learn is a very important skill to have right now because things are changing, technology's evolving. We need your generation who grew up in the information age to help guide us through the challenges that are coming, but also great opportunities. You know how to learn, and in addition to learning in all these buildings that surround us here, I'm sure that you also did a lot of learning on your own. Your generation is a generation who understands how to learn and figure things out because you have access to information. I remember when my son was young and we bought him his first suit, I was going to teach him how to tie his first tie. And then he came out of his bedroom with a perfect Windsor knot. I'm like, who taught you how to do that? He's like, YouTube. So I just say to you, this is a time to be able to learn, and I think that it's great that you can do that. I also would say that if there's one piece of advice I could give is pay attention to your curiosity. And this one I can't overstate. Because curiosity is the way that your subconscious speaks to you and shows you what it wants. And your subconscious is far smarter than your analytical brain. At the time, it feels like you're just bouncing around and distracted and trying things out that have no meaning and your interests seem to meander. But when you get to be my age and look back, you realize that your curiosity has actually guided you like a compass through life. It's like a guide dog that had an agenda for you that's being led, and that's your way of seeing deep down what you want and what you could excel at. And if you could pick a career that you love, that you have passion for, whether it's a teacher, an actor, a chef, a storyteller, a firefighter, anything that you feel lights you up, you're going to tap into a potential that you don't know that you have. And you're going to make an impact on the world through your passion and set examples for other people. My curiosity was fostered on this campus because I took an eclectic set of classes. I'd never declared a major when I was here, but I took drawing from life. I took a film class, film philosophy and politics during intersession, just because it seemed interesting. I tried out for the school play, even though I wasn't a theater major. Looking back, all those things impacted my life in a huge way because I had teachers here and other students that fostered my interest in things that were just curiosities for me. But they led down a path that allowed me to have a very unique road that I went down. It also led for me to go cross country, as was mentioned here, and I stopped in Chicago. And I saw some wonderful improvisers performing. It was like Chris Farley and Mike Myers before they were ever discovered. They seemed super talented. And I remember calling my dad and saying to him, I think I want to give this a try. And I was about your age. And he said to me something that I'm going to say to you. He says, you're old enough now to make an informed decision, but you're young enough that if you change your mind, you can change to something else. And I invite all of you to take this moment. You've worked, you've fought your way through school. As you take your jobs, as you go out there in the marketplace, foster your curiosity. There's nothing that could stop you now. You can create your own stories, your own movies, your own music, your own food. Technology offers you a way, and you've grown up with that, to introduce yourself and what you do to the world. So I encourage you to foster that curiosity. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the City University of New York and all of the elected officials from the county, from the state, and from the city for subsidizing a tremendous value in education, and an education I look back at and draw from every day. So thank you for the, and also to New York for my public school education, from kindergarten all the way through an honorary doctorate. I've been taken care of. So, and I'd like to thank Queens too, because I was on the set of Spider-Man. And thank you. Playing a character named Happy Hogan, and Tom Holland, who's from England, was there, and he was taking accent lessons, dialogue lessons to learn how to speak from Queens, because Spider-Man's from Queens, it's from Sunnyside. And I asked him because the dialogue coach was talking to him between takes. And I said, what are they telling you? How are they telling you to speak like you're from Queens? And he says, honestly, they told me talk like John. So thank you, Queens, for that lovely chapter in my career. And thank you all, and congratulations.
I am now pleased to welcome Rick Heumann, brother of the late Judith Heumann, who will accept the Queens College President's Medal on behalf of his beloved sister, who passed away March 4th, just this year. Rick is joined by his wife Julie and first cousins Maxine and Herbert Heumann. Patricia Price, our provost.
As a leader, Judith Heumann was recognized throughout the world as a powerful voice, activist, and inspiration in the struggle for disability rights. Her influence was so formative that she was often described as the mother of the disability rights movement. Born in Philadelphia, she grew up in Brooklyn. At the age of 18 months, she contracted polio during the 1949 epidemic and spent 3 months in an iron lung, requiring a wheelchair for most of her life. That resulted in her being denied admission to kindergarten, followed by years of her mother's increasingly successful advocacy for accommodation in public school. She subsequently went on to earn a BA in speech and theater at Long Island University in 1969, where she organized protests demanding ramps for wheelchair access and the right of people with disabilities to live in dorms. In 1975, she earned a master's in public health at the University of California at Berkeley. Her legislative achievements have changed the lives of millions. As a legislative assistant in the U.S. Senate, she helped develop the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, which became the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. She also served as a leader of a grassroots protest that compelled California's acceptance of Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, prohibiting discrimination against people with disabilities by any institution receiving federal money. That victory paved the way for the landmark Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. She was appointed the Clinton administration's Assistant Secretary of the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services at the U.S. Department of Education. The World Bank Group's first advisor on disability and development, special advisor to the U.S. State Department on International Disability Rights, and senior fellow at the Ford Foundation. Featured in documentaries such as Camp Crip, A Disability Revolution, and Lives Worth Living. In appreciation for her principled and tireless service to humanity, we present Judith Heumann posthumously with our highest administrative honor, the Queens College President's Medal.
By the authority vested in the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, by the State of New York, and by them entrusted to me as President of Queens College, I hereby confer posthumously on Judith Heumann the Queens College President's Medal with all rights, privileges, immunities, and honors pertaining thereto.
It's hard to follow Iron Man, a superhero. So I'm going to talk about another superhero that changed the world today. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, for President Wu, for having me, esteemed faculty members, elected officials, the Lieutenant Governor. Thank you for presenting the President's Medal to my sister, Judith Heumann. It's a great honor to come back to New York, where it all started, and accept this in her name. I'm going to go off script for a second. We are a baseball family. I want to give a shout out to the Queens College baseball team for making the regional championships. My sister may not be here in person, but her spirit will live on in the many accomplishments that she achieved in her lifetime and the way that she changed how our environment is built. Her battles started, as was stated, when she contracted polio at the age of 18 months. She was in the hospital for many months and an iron lung to help her breathe. At the age of 2, doctors told my parents that they should put her in an institution because that would make life easier for the family. My parents, Werner and Ilse Heumann, who came to this country as German Jewish immigrants to escape the Holocaust, would have no part of that. My dad was a Marine, and Semper Fi, that was never going to happen. When Judy was 5 years old, like most kids, my mom took her to school. And she schlepped her up a flight of stairs in her wheelchair and got to the top, and the principal met her and said, "Sorry, you can't go to school. You're a fire hazard. But the Board of Education has an answer. We're going to send somebody to homeschool you 2.5 hours a week for the next 3 years," is what she got. After my mother refused to take no for an answer, Judy finally was admitted to a regular school, PS 219, but only could be in a classroom with other children with disabilities. When she tried to go to high school again, the wonderful Board of Ed blocked her, but my parents, with many other strong-willed parents, said, "No, we're not going to allow that to happen." And she went to Sheepshead Bay High School in a regular classroom. Fast forward a few years, when Judy's advocacy started to go into high gear at LIU, Judy got a degree in speech and theater, but strategically took all the classes needed to be able to become a teacher, because she wouldn't have been allowed to declare an education major because there was no prospect of being able to teach in a wheelchair. Judy wanted to teach. She passed the written test and the oral exams, but failed the medical because she could not go to the bathroom independently. My sister and her friends would not accept this response and headed to court and won. In 1970, Judy became the first teacher in a wheelchair to teach in a New York City public school. That was just the beginning. A few years later, she led the longest peaceful sit-in of a federal building in San Francisco to get the Carter administration to sign what was the 504 Rehabilitation Act. This same 504 rule helped many of you that are here today with your education. This led to many other peaceful protests, including blocking Madison Avenue in New York and downtown San Francisco to make the transit system accessible. She did this because people would tell her no. As Sandra said, there was a ceiling that you couldn't go over, and Judy said no, never take no for an answer. And her friends have worked that much harder to do the unexpected. She would say you could take the girl out of New York, but you couldn't take New York out of the girl. Her advocacy was blooming. She started the first independent living centers in this country. She went on to help to get the American with Disabilities Act, known as the ADA, through Congress, as well as many other important initiatives. She served in the Department of Ed and the Clinton administration, overseeing the Special Education and Rehabilitation Program in the United States State Department and the Obama administration as the United States Disabilities Right to Advocate, working on making the world a more accessible place for all. She worked for the World Bank as an advisor on disability and development and was even a Ford Fellow. These were all positions at a time were the first of the kind. As she joked, she was featured on the Drunk History Show featuring her 504 sit-in. While promoting her book, Being Human, Trevor Noah called her a badass because she never took no for an answer. But the best name I heard her called was the mother of the disability rights movement. Her advocacy was about rights for all, and not just people with disabilities, whether it was fighting for civil rights, disability rights, reproductive rights. It was always about not letting anyone be discriminated against. Her feeling was disability rights are human rights. Judy would tell you that she was an extrovert, and boy, was that an understatement. She would roll up to anyone at any time in her electric wheelchair and just start talking to them. And they would become one of her friends, her sisters, or brothers. Judy also felt that no one person creates a movement, and she credited so many people that have helped break down the barriers. We held a funeral for my sister back in March. We had 700 people at the service and 7,700 devices around the world watching the live stream. She reached people as a mentor and a friend. The stories that people told at her Shiva after the funeral were amazing. It went on for hours. The common story was about how Judy helped change their lives and how Judy empowered them to do what others make them feel was impossible. If she was here today, she'd be rolling up and down the aisles, and she would ask you what your plan was when you leave here. Judy would want to know how are you going to accomplish your goals, how you're going to advocate for your needs. She truly would be interested in you, the person. Judy, over the past few years, finally got the recognition she deserved. She did nothing ever for fame or fortune, but she did it because it was the right thing to do. The movie Crip Camp on Netflix was a history of her experience in her younger life and about the 504 sit-in. It was nominated for an Oscar for Best Documentary a couple years ago. The film Octopus won that year, but as I joked with friends, octopus became dinner, and my sister helped change the world. Your college motto is "We learn so we may serve." That is very appropriate for my sister, as she learned from everyone she met and served to make the world a better place for all. So as you leave here today, class of 2023, I want you to take this message with you. For a woman who only got 2.5 hours of homeschooling each week, to becoming one of the leaders of the disability movement around the world is what you make it. No one told Judy she could change the world. She just sought out to make it a more equal place. Make a friend or brother or sister of everyone she met and never took no for an answer. In her memoir, Being Human, Judy said, "I simply refused what I was told about who I could be, and I was willing to make a fuss about it." Many of you know what live the dash means, but just in case you don't, you were born on a certain day and you will die on a certain day. The thing you will be remembered by is that dash in the middle, and what did you do all those years? I can proudly say that my sister, Judy Human, lived that dash to the extreme, and we were in a better place because of it. So go out, don't take no for an answer. Make a fuss about it, live your dash, and make this world a better place. Congratulations to the Queens Class College of 2023.
I am now pleased to welcome our keynote speaker, New York State Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado. First, we are presenting him with the Queens College President's Medal. Provost Patricia Price.
Known as a highly respected civic leader, your talents and sense of purpose have been apparent throughout your life. You have distinguished yourself in scholarship, athletics, music, law, and public service, and you have used your record of personal achievement to help others. As a scholar, you excelled from an early age. You attended Notre Dame Bishop Gibbons High School in your native Schenectady, and I've learned how to say that after 9 years. Then earned your BA in Philosophy and Political Science at Colgate University with high honors. You were awarded a prestigious Rhodes Scholarship. You completed your MA in Philosophy, Politics, and Economics at Queens College, University of Oxford, and then your Juris Doctorate at Harvard Law School. In 2018, you became the first person of color elected to the U.S. Congress from upstate New York. Representing New York's largely suburban and rural 19th Congressional District. In 2022, you were appointed, then elected as Lieutenant Governor of New York, becoming the first person of Latino descent to hold statewide office. An effective legislator, you emphasized helping your constituencies, including underserved communities, family farms, and small businesses. 18 of your bills were signed into law under 2 different presidents. When the pandemic hit, you secured federal support for frontline and essential workers and small businesses. In recognition of your many achievements and dedication to public service, we are proud to present you with the Queens College President's Medal.
By the authority vested in the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York by the State of New York, and by them entrusted to me as President of Queens College, I hereby present you with the President's Medal, with all of the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors pertaining thereto.
Good morning. To That's what being a former hip hop artist, you know how to do that. President Wu, thank you so much for the honor. I'm humbled to be here today. I want to acknowledge the Queens College administrators and faculty, distinguished guests, the graduates of the class of 2023, their parents, relatives, their friends, the community, the village that raised you all. Congratulations to every single one of you. It's an honor. I want to speak to you today, if I can, as you enter into the real world. Some call the real world. It often can seem like a cruel and dark and ugly world. I want to talk to you today about your greatest power. The power to love, which is to say, the power to light the world with your truth. Dr. King once said the most powerful force in the entire universe is love. And with this power that lives inside of every single one of you, you have the power to transform the world. In love, you will find the courage to turn down all the outside noise in order to hear your inner voice. In love, you will find the strength to follow your heart and intuition when all around you might think otherwise. And with love, you will be kind. You will be generous. You will be compassionate. You will be understanding. And you will be true. True to your family, true to your friends, and true to yourself. Now, I remember when I was a freshman at Colgate. I was there as a pre-med student. And I went there as a pre-med student because my father made the point that he found it to be the most noble profession in the world. And as a young kid growing up in inner city poverty, he wished someone had just pulled him aside once and told him to be a doctor. And so he strongly pushed his son. To the point, I can admit, there was little room for debate. But when I got to Colgate, and I took a freshman seminar class my freshman year called What is Real and What is True, the professor pushed me to question certain truths that I had been raised by my parents to accept without much challenge. From my religion to whether becoming a doctor was actually my path. It was a scary process to question all that I had once took for granted. It was hard to let go of what I accepted to be my truth. It took a good 2 years before I got the courage to walk away from pre-med to focus on what I knew in my heart I loved, philosophy and political science. The talk with my father was not as easy as it was with yours, John. It's a little more challenging, but he accepted it. And here's what happened. As soon as I took the risk and made the switch to pursue what I truly loved, I thrived in the classroom. Schoolwork stopped feeling like work, and instead it felt like a passion. I loved what I was doing. Feeding off of that passion, I was able to excel. And yes, ultimately receive a Rhodes Scholarship. And I could tell you as a kid growing up as a latchkey kid, for those who don't know, your parents give you a key when you're 7, 8 years old, and when you walk to school, they tell you to walk back home and let yourself in. That was me, a latchkey kid with two hardworking, working-class parents who cut coupons to put our food on a budget and who put clothes and appliances on layaway. We weren't talking about me going to Oxford when I was growing up in Schenectady. But the love that I had for philosophy and political theory in the classroom and the support that my family provided me, and education being the great equalizer and the gateway to opportunity that it is for all of us here today, I was there. And that gateway led me to Oxford. And when you let love lead, anything is possible. Now, love can also push you to do other things you might find risky. But without risk, as noted earlier, there can be no reward. And that reward can be as simple and critical as gaining a better understanding of who you are. Not everything is going to work out as you planned, but there's a lesson in the process that you can grow in the journey itself. Sometimes you have to feel uncomfortable before you can get comfortable in your own skin. I remember when I graduated from law school at Harvard, a lot of folks thought I might go off and work at a law firm to make a good six-figure salary, and it was certainly tempting. And I left my parents and my friends scratching their heads when I turned to them and said, no, I'm going to become a hip-hop artist. I can still remember my parents looking at me and saying, so you went to Colgate, became a Rhodes Scholar, and got your law degree from Harvard so you could become a rapper? And the short answer was yes. My love for the music and the culture and what it represented for me as a vehicle for speaking truth to power fueled in me the desire to be true to me in that moment. I packed my bags, moved off to LA to pursue my dream, and for 5 years, I toiled. I toiled away, sleeping on air mattresses, living in tiny studio apartments, eating cup of noodles daily, having odd-end jobs as a parking lot attendant. My mother would call me often in tears, asking me, what are you doing? When are you gonna come home, son? Now, was I successful? Certainly not monetarily speaking. 5 years later, I was still broke. The mountain of college debt was still staring me in the face. But I did what I loved. I wrote and recorded nonstop. I read books and fed my soul with ideas about what it means to live in a more just society. I struggled, but I found meaning in the struggle. I obtained a better sense of myself and grew stronger in that truth. I got comfortable in my skin and more rooted in what really matters to me. Now, when I decided to walk away from music and move back to New York and focus on my family and be a husband and a father, it wasn't obvious at the time what the seeds were planted in me during that 5 years of struggle and how they might manifest. But years later, 6 years to be exact, they would manifest. When I found myself far from the world of music, working as a litigator at a corporate law firm in New York City. I was financially secure, providing for my family, likely to make partner. But I knew inside I was unfulfilled. Didn't feel like I was walking in my purpose, even though the life I was living was a comfortable one. I believe I had more to give. And as fate would have it, it was my time struggling and toiling away for 5 years in LA as a hip hop artist, getting to know my truth that gave me the courage I needed back in early 2017 to take off those golden handcuffs, to dedicate myself to a life of public service. And I grounded that decision in love of country, love of New York, love of community, love of home. I left the firm. I moved back to upstate New York, where me and my wife are from, ran for Congress in a district that at the time was 90% white, and the 8th most rural congressional seat out of 435 in the entire country. A district many thought a person of color, with a rap album no less, had no business winning. A nasty, negative, racially charged personal attacks against my character were plastered all over TV screens because of my time as a hip hop artist. My mother called me at that time too, for a different reason, with tears. However, it was love of home that enabled me to trust that home would love me back in the face of an onslaught of hate-based attacks. There were many folks who wanted me to lash out in anger and to zero in on the ugliness of the attacks, to make it all about how nasty the hate was, and I definitely felt tempted to do so. But what felt more real, more true, was to get out there into the community and listen, to connect with people in a genuine way from every corner of my district. And instead of approaching them with arms crossed, doing so with arms extended. Yes, there were disagreements. Of course there are going to be disagreements. When a third of the folks that I represented were Republican, 1/3 were Democrat, 1/3 were independent, the district voted for Obama, then it voted for Trump, you're gonna have disagreements. But love Love has a way of making folks disagree agreeably, and it can inspire you to reach out beyond your differences in order to find common ground. And through the power of love, that is how I became the first person of color to represent upstate New York in Congress. Always remember that when you love, anything is possible, including finding your truth. You need to make yourself vulnerable. Trust in the goodness of others and lead with your hearts. Yes, I know the times that we are living right now are cynical, and it's easy to be pessimistic about the world around us. I get it. There's a lot of hate and hostility bubbling up on the surface, but I look out at you and I see love. I see the future. I see inspiration. I see courage. I see pride. And I believe with you, through you, we can overcome a lot. So now more than ever, please love each other. That's what the world needs from all of you, to love each other. It's not easy, I get it, but it's meaningful. It takes strength of character. You have to go against the herd sometimes, not to be a contrarian, not to grab a headline, but instead to unite, to elevate the conversation in pursuit of a greater good or a higher purpose. And none of that work can be done in the absence of love. So be open-minded. Listen to people before you judge. Be comfortable with not having all the answers. It's okay to admit when you are a work in progress, that you are trying to improve and be better over time. It's okay to fail. It's all about acceptance, which is what love is. Letting other versions exist, not just your own. And do your homework. Not just homework in the class, obviously. Do it in life. Determine things for yourself with an open mind. That's how you achieve self-determination. That's how you learn what you love. And what you truly love will give your life meaning and purpose. I'll just say in conclusion that I'm excited for you. I see a lot of possibilities in every single one of you because I know what's inside of every single one of you. And it's the most powerful force in the entire universe. So push yourself, participate, engage, and be curious. As a wise man once said, freedom is participation in power. So be free. Believe in your power. Open your mind. Listen before judging. Understand before disagreeing, and put care before conflict. If you remember anything from me this hot graduation day in 2023, believe in the power of love. And with that, I want to tell every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, I love you. And congratulations.
Earlier this year, I had the pleasure of hearing the Lieutenant Governor speak at a City University of New York luncheon in Albany. We've now had the great honor of his commencement address here on our beautiful campus at Queens College. Thank you so much. I now have the honor to recognize alumni groups who are in the audience. They have come from the world over to join us on this happy occasion. First, I ask that members of the Queens College class of 1973 to stand. They entered college in 1969, and when they graduated, so that you know the historical context, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled on Roe versus Wade. The classic film American Graffiti was playing in movie theaters, and the United States ended its involvement in Vietnam following the signing of the Paris Peace Accords. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Queens College class of 1973. Please be seated. Now I ask that members of the class of 1963 If they would stand. They came to campus in 1959. When they graduated, tragically, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. There was the first ever successful liver transplant. Cassette tapes were introduced as the latest technology to listen to hit music. Ladies and gentlemen, the Queens College class of 1963. Now I ask that members of the class of 1953, if they would stand. They entered Queens College in 1949. When they graduated, James Watson and Francis Crick determined the structure of DNA, the double helix. The first color television sets appeared on the market, retailing for $1,175, and the movie Roman Holiday was released. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1963. Lastly, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the surviving members of the 75th anniversary class of 1948 and the 80th anniversary class of 1943 who are unable to travel to join us today. But let's have another big round of applause for all of the Queens College alumni. I'm so happy now to welcome a quartet of students from our famed Aaron Copland School of Music. They will be singing an arrangement of Blue and Silver, an ode to the traditional school colors of Queens College. If everyone in the audience would stand for our a cappella quartet who will be performing from right over here. Thank you so much for sharing your voices. Please be seated once again. Now, to give greetings on behalf of the students of Queens College is the outgoing Student Association President, Shristi Bhatia, who is also graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts degree herself. Please, President Bhatia, if you would come forward.
Thank you for that, President Wu, and thank you all for this very warm welcome. I hope you are all just as excited to be here as I am. I stand here in front of you excited, but also emotional, amazed, and a bit nervous. Growing up in a South Asian household, I saw my mother work tirelessly to give us all the resources my brother and I needed. Better yet, she worked to give us wings, to help us soar, to let us make our own path. I stand here today because of all that she has done, but more importantly, because of all that she has sacrificed. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for being my support. Thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for being my friend. Arriving at Queens College as a first-generation student, I was determined to excel in all my classes, ready to get out into the real world. I wanted to make sure that I made my mother proud, and I would continue to grow in all aspects of life, just like my brother. I was ready for the college experience of a lifetime. Little did any of us know COVID-19 would happen. Classes were canceled, everything was shut down, and as life as we know it would not be the same. I still remember the day it was announced. I was in my Bio 101 class as a freshman, and my friends and I hung out in the Student Union diner saying, "I'll see you after 14 days." Little did I know that those 14 days would turn into more than 2 years, changing the very trajectory of our lives. From classes to career goals to our relationships with each other, COVID-19 changed it all. With all the ups and downs we've all faced and the challenges we have overcame, our experience here at Queens College was not one of the traditional routes, not especially with our oh-so-iconic 11:59 deadlines. Our class became resilient, adaptable, and resourceful, qualities that will serve us well in our future endeavors. As I reflect on our collective journey, I'm reminded of the incredible bonds we've formed. We've laughed together, cried together, and stood by each other's side. From thick to thin, we've been through it all. Whether it was hanging out in the library, the essay diner, or club rooms, the friendships we have cultivated during our time here will forever hold a special place in our hearts. I remember my first day, first class. I had made friends with a quiet and shy girl named Hema. I thought she was super smart and could help me figure out what was going in our psych class. Unknowingly, she became my first friend at QC, my vice president for my club, and most importantly, a sister for life. Remember to cherish these friendships and nurture them as we embark on our new paths. As we prepare to leave this chapter behind and move on to the next, let us carry with us the lessons we have learned and the knowledge that we are capable of achieving greatness. We had all come to Queens College to fulfill our goals, to get out into the real world, but what I've noticed over the years here at Queens College, in person or remote, is that Queens College teaches us how to create our own world. Queens College has given us a lot. If someone told me a year ago I was going to be a speaker at commencement, I would have laughed in disbelief and would have brushed it off. The administrators and faculty here are some of the most encouraging people that I have met. They motivate me every day to grow and learn, but they also taught me to have gratitude for everything, including the small things. Whether it was showing me different perspectives or making sure I went to class, administrators from offices like Student Life, Student Affairs, Veterans, and many more helped me become a better leader and an even better person. As I continued to grow, Frank Wilson and team became my biggest cheer squad, always motivating me to go the extra mile, to think of the bigger picture, to bring something new to the table. Thank you all for being there. Whether it was hanging out with my friends or having the motivation from faculty and staff, I want to thank a very special person present here today. I don't know where you are in the crowd, but Mr. Dwayne D. Jones, thank you. About a year ago, I had never imagined I would stand here on stage addressing our class. Thank you for seeing something in me that I myself did not see, for pushing me to get out and reach for all the goals I want to achieve. I remember being in New Orleans, waiting to get my first tattoo while you told me, don't let others decide what your life should look like. You decide. You decide what you want. Pondering on that statement, I didn't get my first tattoo, but I got something much more valuable and priceless, a chance. A chance to be a voice for others, a chance to learn, a chance to grow. Thank you, Dwayne. I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for your passion, dedication, and motivation for helping us grow here at QC. If I walk away from QC with one thing today, it's that you shouldn't let one person's experience affect what's most important. Your journey, your legacy, and your story. It's what you want to make it. We have discovered numerous talents here that we never knew we had, pushed boundaries of our own potential, and gotten out of our comfort zones. Now, as we stand at the threshold of our futures, it is essential to embrace the uncertainty that lies ahead. The road may not shape our own destinies. Let us not be afraid to dream big, to pursue our passions, and make a positive impact on the world around us. I want each and every one of us here today, those graduating and those here in support, to think about life, what we have overcome, and what it is we look forward to. As we reflect on what we've overcome, let's also appreciate those who have helped us grow. We owe them a debt of gratitude. Though we may not all be in the same place again, as long as the Spirit lives within us, we shall really never part. I would like to congratulate each and every one of you here today for your achievements, your dedication, and your resilience. We have emerged stronger, more determined, and ready to make our mark on the world. Let us be bold, let us be courageous, and let us create our own paths guided by the dreams that burn within us. Thank you all for being an amazing class, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. We did it, and our journey is just beginning. Let us seize the future, make it our own story, and turn it into a legacy. Thank you, and again, congratulations, class of 2023.
Now it is the time to confer degrees on the graduates. Thank you, Shristi. Because there are so many members of the class of 2023, we will have representatives on stage. I ask that our Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, Patricia Price, if she would come back to the podium and call up each of the representatives who will stand in for all of the different degree categories. Provost Price.
We shall now proceed with the conferring of master's degrees. The program lists the candidates for the various degrees and certificates. The students being hooded were chosen from among our top students in each degree category. These representatives will be hooded by the deans of their respective schools. If you will proceed. Will the candidates for the degree of Masters of Fine Arts? Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts please rise? Dean Bill McClure will hood Kathy Fauntleroy, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Music please rise? Zach Tomanik Tad E. is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts please rise? Dean Kate Pachenkina will hood Deepika Khan, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Library Science, Master of Arts, please rise? Dean Simone Yearwood will hood Danny Stompor, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science please rise? Dean Daniel Weinstein will hood Annetta Palmer, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Education please rise? Dean Bobby Cabuto will hood Christopher Giacopino, who is representing these candidates. Will the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts in Teaching please rise? Ji-Un Yi is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates who are to receive a professional or advanced certificate or specialist diploma please rise? Thank you. I'm going to wait for the plane to stop. Look, it would not be a Queen's send-off if you didn't get a salute from our good friends at LaGuardia Airport. Will all candidates for master's degrees, as well as candidates for all professional and advanced certificates and specialist diplomas, stand? President Wu, I present to you these candidates and respectfully request that you confer upon them the master's degrees, professional and advanced certificates, and specialist diplomas for which they are qualified.
By the authority vested in the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, by the State of New York, and by them entrusted in me as President of Queens College, I hereby confer upon you the master's degrees, the professional and advanced certificates, and the specialist diplomas for which you have qualified with all of the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors pertaining thereto. To whom much is given, much is expected. I charge you to generously and wisely use the knowledge you have gained here during your graduate studies. There's so many challenges in the world, and I know that your collective talents and efforts will make a positive difference to humankind. And I tip my hat to you.
Please be seated. I will now present the candidates for bachelor degrees. Will the candidates for degree of Bachelor of Arts please rise? Dean Daniel Weinstein. Will Hood Eliana Hernandez, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please rise? Michael Grossman is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees please arise? Dean William McClure will hood Emilio Aguirre, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Music degree please rise? Marcella Grancarrick is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts degree please rise? Dean Kate Pachenkina will hood Christopher Blaika, who is representing these candidates. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degrees please rise? Ishrat Talukdar represents these candidates. Please be seated. Will all bachelor degree candidates please rise? President Wu, I present to you these candidates and respectfully request that you confer upon them the bachelor degrees for which they are qualified.
By the authority vested in the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York by the State of New York, and by them entrusted to me as President of Queens College, I hereby confer upon you the bachelor's degrees for which you have qualified with all of the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors pertaining thereto. Congratulations. I charge you to use the same discipline and strength of character that allowed you to complete your degrees here at Queens College to conquer the future challenges and aspirations that you have. You are capable of greatness. We expect the best from each and every one of you. I tip my hat to you. You may now switch your cap tassels from left to right. We do have an issue. Will the mother of 6-year-old Aiden please come to the base of the stage? We're looking for the mother of lost 6-year-old Aiden. The mother of 6-year-old Aiden, a future Queens College student, if you would please come to the base of the stage. Mother of 6-year-old Aiden, please. Look for Stacy Romano in the red. All right, she's going to keep Aiden if the mother doesn't show up. All right. So, it's now time for a Queens College tradition. I ask all graduates to turn and show your appreciation to all of the people, family, parents, significant others, friends, faculty, and staff who helped make this moment possible. This has been a wonderful commencement. Again, I thank all who have participated. I wish you all the best as you begin life after Queens College. You have now joined the distinguished ranks of Queens College alumni. We look forward to welcoming many of you back for graduate studies. Congratulations once again. To formally close this morning's program, please welcome back to the podium our Chief Marshal, Professor Emeritus Alan Ludman.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing until the center aisle recessional has taken place and we have cleared the platform. Additional ceremonies by individual programs and departments will take place in about half an hour. The locations of these are found in your program on pages 52 and 53. May I take this opportunity to wish you my personal congratulations to all the graduates and their support systems that have made all this possible. The 99th commencement exercises of Queens College of the City University of Newark are now officially concluded.